If you're afraid that your child's worries will lead to an anxiety disorder, I want to start with I'm afraid. Let's start with us as parents, where we're afraid of a particular outcome with our children. Because that's a lot of times we have parental agendas or we have parental fears of our own for our children. And a lot of times our fear is coming from our children turning out a certain way. I'm afraid my child will be too shy. I'm afraid my child, is going to have an anxiety disorder. Whatever that particular thing is, it comes from us first. And so I think this really starts with our own fear and being able to navigate that. If we're afraid that they're going to have an anxiety disorder because maybe we've had an anxiety disorder, it's important to talk about that with a therapist or with a trusted friend so that you yourself can navigate your own parental fear, because your own fear inhibits your ability to show up for your kids.
Yeah, and I think we have to recognize, again, all children will have worry. So there is a normal amount of worry. That's just totally normal for all of us. But if you're concerned that it's moved beyond that, they carry it for a long time, it's truly affecting their life. This is when we get to pull in the community around us. Put in trusted resources around you and your family. You're not alone in this. There are a lot of people who are so skilled and so willing to step in and help, to be wise counsel, to maybe evaluate your child. And don't be afraid of putting your children with incredible people who have skills that you don't have, that are maybe a therapist, who are their gifting is to sit with children and evaluate, to hear their hearts. And I think the more times we recognize there are people out there who are so willing to help, we don't feel so alone.
Yeah, and kids they're asking all kinds of questions all of the time. And they might pick up a story from the news, they might pick up a story from a friend or from a family friend or whatever it is, and they run with that. And they ask you all kinds of questions. And so that all of a sudden has you asking all kinds of questions. To be able to navigate, is this situational versus is this long-term anxiety, is just realize that a lot of times kids are going to ask questions for a season of time, and then eventually they're going to get those questions answered, or they're going to get them, they might not get answered, but they're going to get over the fear or the worry because they realize it's not happening. It's not realistic in the moment, right? But over time, if we start to see them maybe not sleeping well, changing patterns in eating, changing patterns in behavior or attitude, or even physical manifestations like a headache or that type of thing, where they otherwise you wouldn't know they're sick, but you know how the physical manifestations of anxiety in your own life, where you get a tummy ache or your heart starts to race, right? These are situations that you do want to look at your child and say, okay, maybe this is a little bit more serious than just a situational worry. And so then at that point, I just really want to encourage you, we use therapy on a regular basis. And so I don't think it's for crazy people. I think it's for broken people, right? Like we're all broke. We all have fragmented pieces of our story that we're trying to put together. And as Christi said, that community, those people will help you put a coherent narrative to your story, and they help your kids put a coherent narrative to their story. But the way to do that is in safe relationship, safe community. So find trusted people that you can surround your kids with, you can surround yourself with, so that those worries and fears, that they're calmed in the power of healthy relationship.